There's so many things to talk about. But first of all, let's start with the good news. I received an email from the train company I used to go to Paris in July for the 4th of July, to Paris, to Disneyland, with my love interest and the daughter, all of us, 4 people. So we went there, and there was a problem with the train. What happened is that they canceled the train, and I said, I tried to do something on the website in the hotel room. The hotel room was actually lovely. It was at Garden Nord, basically 10 meters away from the station. When we went to the balcony, we actually could see the station. It was like arm's length. It was a beautiful station, actually. If you have a chance to look at it. Usually people don't look at it at all. They arrive to Paris and then straight away go to see the Sacré-Cœur, the Louvre, Notre Dame, and all those touristy places. And for the first time, we booked a hotel called 25 Hours. I quite like the name. So we booked this hotel 25 Hours, and we had a balcony that came with the room, and we spent quite a lot of time on that balcony because we could see the Sacré-Cœur, we could see finally the train station. I love train stations, so it was quite good to have actually time to just observe it, just to stare at the architecture. Well, long story short, they canceled the train, our train, back to home, back to London, and I tried to fiddle on my phone, but I couldn't, get to A to B. So what I decided, that we had a coffee in the morning, and I just walked over to the train station. I find this train company's office and talked to the lady. The lady was very upset, very stressed because of the person in front of me, behaving in a very, very strange way. And I think I'm not sure because I don't speak French. I think the problem was that he wanted to pay cash and they accept only cards or something like that. Anyway, not my problem. But the lady said that yes, they canceled the train, but no worries, I can go with the next one. The next one being a week away. I said, I love Paris. This is amazing city, but already been here for more than a week and I don't want to stay for a week longer. Sorry about that. And the lady was like, clicking away on her keyboard and said, okay, then you can go with the next train. And the next train is basically departing right now, so you should be actually in the queue. Oh, you should be actually in the middle of the queue if you don't want to miss it. So we ran for it. We went back to the hotel, we checked out. It was the longest process ever because obviously we were in a hurry. Otherwise it would be normal, but we were in a hurry, so it felt very, very long, a long process. And we got on the train, but what happened is that they double booked our places, so we had no place. We don't have seats, we didn't have allocated seats, we didn't have a number, we had nothing. And you need to go through, like, basically they check you twice. They check your bag, they check your passport, they check it again and all that stuff. And the last person who checked it, he said, okay, no worries, don't get on the train, just stay on the side, don't get on the train, stay on the side. Because we don't have space for you, we figure something out. And by the time we get through all of this, the train was already late, like 20 minutes. And finally we could get on the train, but we had no allocated seat. So I don't think it's a long time, 2.5 hours to stand. but we had not a normal touristy ticket. We had like economy. I don't know what's the name for it actually, but there's like a special name when you have like bigger place for, you have space for your leg, and you know, it's like, you know, there are classes and it's like in the middle class, and you get food as well, you have drinks and lots of stuff, and actually it's quite good. We didn't have that, and we didn't have even space in the normal carriage, but there was a carriage where there was a suitcases, so we were traveling, you know, in the section with the suitcases. And then the guy came, who was checking the tickets, and he offered us carriage number 5, and number 5 was empty, and he explained to us that it's empty because there's no air in it. The air conditioning doesn't work and nothing works on the train, so they decided not to put any passengers in there. But if you don't want to be in the luggage area, then we can go over there. And that was like 2000 degrees that day, and we decided, okay, we rather stay here than go to a carriage where there's no air conditioning and probably you can't even open the window. So we stayed there, and it was quite a fun thing to do, you know, because it felt like that basically we were like how you call it when you're like jumping on the random ships and random trains, and you know, travel like that without any ticket or anything like that. So it felt like that, it felt like an adventure, and I quite liked it. It was fun. But you know, sometimes you need to think the financials, and you know, we paid £400 for the ticket, and you know, I said, you know, it was fun, you know, I don't complain about it, but you know, it would be better if you pay back the £400. And today we got the email, we got the news that we got back the money, so it's quite good. We had the adventure and we got the money back, and everyone's happy, and you know, the customer service is about, you know, keeping the people happy, and 5-star. You know, because there could be 1,000 reasons why our train was cancelled in the first place, and I would have done anything anyway not to stay a week longer. I didn't have, you know, so much free time, you know, to be outside of out of work for such a long time. But it was great, you know. It was okay. I have no complaints, and actually I categorize this as a good news. It was, yeah, but this is not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about is a first-hand experience of a first aid course, because I've been wanted to do this for such a long time. I should have done it for the driving license, but I didn't do my driving license. I've done it in actually 2 countries, but I never had time to actually finish it because it's quite a long process. In the first country where I started the process to get a driving license, for at that time it was a year, a whole year, and I didn't have time for that. I had only 2 months there, and then I decided to leave. And then I started in another country again. I decided to leave, and you know, I was moving so much around. I never stayed for the time that needed for to getting actually the driving license from the beginning till the very end. So I do not have driving license, and I never had the first aid. And if you work in London now, it's almost everywhere, it's a mandatory thing to have this first aid course. But again, I never had the time for it. But you know, one of my friends of a friend of a friend of a friend does this kind of things, and I was actually invited to do it, and I didn't have time. That's why I didn't do it, and I was like so sad about this, because I regret it so much that I did not go. Because if you think about it, more than the pandemic came, so I could even 3-4 years passed since I could have done it for a very good price, because this is expensive. We're talking about like a course that is like £500, Oh yes, 500 pounds, and everyone should have these kind of things, especially like you know, more and more people have food allergies to, I don't know, all sort of things, and they can collapse anytime, and then it's much better if you, instead of panicking, you can actually attend and save some lives. So that's why the course is for, and it was very interesting from the beginning till the end. Oh my god, actually that was the first time I did something like this. I seen it many times on videos, and someone showed it to me, spending with me about 20 minutes. You know how to do, how to give CPR when you do like this with your hands, and you put it on someone's chest and just, you know, just push it like this 30 times, and then breathe in twice, and then 30 times again. And it was very funny because I knew from videos from the social media that there is a song from the Bee Gees called Staying Alive, and the gentleman who trained us today said that no, 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 we don't teach it like that anymore, because no one knows Bee Gees, no one knows the song, and we just confuse them. So now you basically just like, you do it twice, like every second, and that's it. You do it 30 times, and then twice you do the breathing, and then you continue it until the emergency services arrives, the ambulance arrives. Yes. So we had this doll, basically a life-size doll we could play with, and you know how to move the head, how to move this, and actually we had the chance to do this on each other. And other people who already had this first aid course, they've done it a couple of times before. They said that was the first time they actually had a chance to put someone, a real person, in recovery positions, because I thought that I know how to do these kind of things because I saw it many times on the social media and on the internet. But actually it's not the way how you do it, because I remembered it that the person who is unconscious but breathing, you need to, you know, you kneel, and then away from you you fold the person, you know, you get the legs, you get the arms in the right positions away from you. And what happened is that in real life it's not like that. You need to roll the person towards you, not the other way around. So again, it's a different thing. So I've done it maybe 5 times until I get it right, you know, because you need to hold the hand like that, and you need to hold it like this, and then in the same time with your other hand, with me it was the left, you reach out and you move the leg, and then you roll the person towards yourself. I didn't know that. It was a completely new information. And you know, when you watch it on a video a couple of times, or you see it in the movies or something, and I had the illusion that I can do it myself, because it's basically like 2-3 movements and that's it, you just do it. But in real life it doesn't work like that. The body doesn't bend that way, and even the force you need to apply is completely different in real life. You don't have to apply any force, because the way how you hold the hand like this and you reach out with the left hand to move the leg, basically the whole body rolls by itself. You don't have to force it at all. So that was completely new. Again, you know, it's like what works in theory is completely different when you actually doing it in real life. The other thing was new as well. When you do this one and you do CPR, then how you find the right position. Because for example, I knew it from, I don't know where, that you check the nipples and you go in the middle. No, it's not anymore the case. What you do, go the armpits, and from there you find the middle. That was completely new to me as well. And the whole procedure was completely different. I learned so much as well, especially how to handle the burns. You know, you need to run it underwater for like 20 minutes. It shouldn't be cold, it should be cool, and so on. And I had basically 10 people in the class, and all of them, the trainer was very good and everyone was very engaging, and whenever the new information came up, everyone without waiting reacted, and they said different things, because we were all over, you know, I'm not from here, I'm not from around here, I'm from Eastern Europe, and I brought some cultural stuff with me when it comes to this, and other people who came from Asia, who came from Africa, who came from here, from there, they all said what they do in their country, and what I've learned in this course, which was actually new, that this was the first time, and we are after the pandemic 2022, that that I saw people how they handle the information, the new information, how we do things here and how we were doing things back in our country, because we used to, you know, we were never talking about this, never. It was basically, we treated it as a carte blanche, you know, an empty page, and whatever they said, this is what we were doing. But here we give ourselves time to process and get the two, you know, that to handle the two knowledges. And it was very good from the trainer, because he was born already here, but culturally he was coming from somewhere else, and he said that yeah, in my country is like this, but that is the reason why we do it differently here, and like this. It was so good, so good. I loved it. This was one of the best training I ever had, definitely. And we had coffees in the room and water, and obviously I went for the coffee, and because I can drink easily like 10 liters of filter coffee easily, man, easily. So I went for the coffee, and I realized that all the cups there are completely clean and untouched, and they told me that it doesn't work for some reason, and everyone went to the lobby where there was a coffee machine, and it was free. And I kind of liked it, because, you know, in my country it's like nothing's free. It's very cheap and it's nothing free, and it was so nice that, you know, that they brought it to the room as well, you know. It was quite a nice, you know, feeling. The hospitality was very good. So what I did, because the break was so long, it was 10 minutes break, and I had nothing to do with myself, I decided that take the whole thing apart. So I grabbed this thing, it was written coffee on it. It was two of them. It's like two canister, one with the hot water, the other one with the coffee, and I started to take it to pieces, and I realized that nothing wrong with the thing. It's just basically someone screwed the top in the wrong way. So I needed like 10 seconds to figure this out, and after that we had coffee. And now I had to go to the lobby again. It was so nice. Somehow, I don't know how, but the whole vibe of the training was so different, because I've done trainings during the pandemic as well, and before the pandemic as well. And before the pandemic, training like this, similar to this, it was like everyone was like sitting there and maybe playing on their phone, and they didn't, no one took any notes when there was any questions, or when you could bring up, you know, something from your life, something from your experiences, and how you handle the different problems. So everyone would learn something from your mistakes or what you see or whatever. No one said anything at all. During the pandemic, it was kind of different, because during the pandemic I've done a week-long course, and it was in class as well, because that time it was again legal to do this, but no one really went on the street at all. And we were sitting in the classroom. It was during the pandemic, so it was 2 years ago. we were in the class and everyone had their face mask on. So right now if I meet any of them, I wouldn't even recognize them because I just seen their eyes and their ears, and basically that's it. So we were doing the class and no one really said anything, and when they talked in a face mask, like no one really got the idea what they're talking about. And this part of this engaging, the whole, every single task you do being engaging, it just did not work at all during the pandemic. And right now, maybe because like couple of us, couple, not everyone, couple of them, because I was working during the pandemic, but some people, they were in a lockdown, self-isolating for even up to 2 years, and finally they could get out and meet new people and finally talk like with a person face to face, you know, not with someone over the Zoom or Facebook Messenger or something like that, talking. And it was such a nice conversation. I think this year, after Paris, after the Disneyland, this was one of the best day, yeah, of 2022. Really, if I think about it, it's like it was like a house party, but in the same time, you know, we learned we learned a lot. And when I say we learned a lot, I mean that we relearned many things we knew already, but now there were some changes in the system, and that was really great. And there was an assessment, there was a test at the very end of it, 15 questions, and oh yes, baby, I've got all 15 of them right, and that means that my test was 100%, and that's just so great. Yeah, today was a good thing, and plus I got back the money for the train ticket as well. So it means this year I'm going to Paris again, probably New Year's Eve. Oh yes.